Yo, so after watching episode 1093 of One Piece, it provoked something in this smooth little raw chicken breast inside of my head. I was like, damn, I really love seeing Law and Blackbeard fight. They both have some beautiful ass abilities. They both have very deep ass bags. Blackbeard, maybe not so much, but that definitely applies to Law. So I decided to make a little list about who my favorite fighters are in the One Piece world. And I don't mean strongest, by the way. That could be a little misconception that some of you motherfuckers have. And this is also a very subjective list. I just mean the most fun to watch for me, and how long it would take for them to get old, because I think everyone eventually would get old. So at number 5, I'm gonna shock a shit ton of people here, but I'm gonna go with Luffy, specifically Snake Man in Gear 5. So we've seen Luffy fight more than anybody. He's our fucking favorite child, and it's damn near a miracle that some of his modes, and whatever you want to call it, haven't gotten completely old and stale yet. There are, some things to dislike about Luffy's fighting style, specifically about how he doesn't really seem to have any fucking plan or strategy. He just kind of throws himself at the other guy and hopes for the best. But Gear 5 and Snake Man are kind of the saving grace for him here. Snake Man is very refreshing, especially when compared to Bounce Man. Snake Man kind of depends more on speed and finesse, as opposed to just throwing big punches at people. Snake Man is more about throwing fast, small punches at people. And Gear 5 is just such a different transformation compared to everything else in the genre, really. But unfortunately, it does fall victim to the big punch curse, being that Bajrangan is probably the fucking strongest move that Gear 5 has. As far as the other Luffy forms, I've already shared my piece with Bounce Man. It was the default form for a while. We've kind of seen everything that it has to offer, and Gear 2 is literally just base Luffy, but faster, pretty much. And base Luffy is great, but again, we've seen fucking everything already, alright? Okay, so number 4. This is gonna be a weird one for some people, but I got Aokiji. So Aokiji is my favorite admiral. He goes fucking hard. How could you not love him? I mean, he is a little slightly evil now, but let's disregard that. He has ice powers, and ice powers always look fucking gorgeous. Everybody, I mean, at least one of my favorite colors is like light blue, teal, and that's his whole fruit. Everything he does is that color. When Aokiji picked up the grass and blew on it to make the fucking ice sub, he solidified his spot on the list. His abilities are just too fucking cool. Plus, he's the first admiral to show like serious hockey feats. He's able to somewhat compete with Garp in that aspect, which is pretty nuts. Next up, number 3. I'm going with Sanji. So Sanji has a one-of-a-kind fighting style. Aside from maybe like Zeph or some shit. Nobody else is running around kicking motherfuckers like Sanji. Nobody else has the Jump power-ups, and nobody ever will, because Sanji is part cyborg. Plus, he's one of the fastest motherfuckers on Earth. Fast enough to become invisible. The only thing that you could kind of hate on Sanji for is the fights he has usually aren't amazing or like main event worthy, because the guys he ends up fighting just aren't as cool as the guys Luffy and Zoro end up fighting. Although I do kind of think, at least, based off Wano, Queen is a better character than King, I think. King was significantly more interesting as a fighter. Queen was just a big fucking robot brontosaurus. King was a race that we had never seen before, with abilities that we have never seen before, but he ended up being pretty dull in the character department, He wasn't too unique himself. While Queen, he was like a fucking scientist that had ties to Sanji's dad and a bunch of Vegapunk, fucking a bunch of people. Queen is kind of underrated as a character. He's kind of cool. I just don't think his powers are super fun to watch, unfortunately, compared to King. But enough of that. I don't know how I compared King and Queen in a list that they're not even in. Spoiler alert, they're not 2 or 1. I don't know how my mind strayed to that. But number 2, hot take maybe, literally, give me Sabo. I mean, it's fire powers. Everybody fucking loves fire powers. Plus, he has hockey moves that are pretty original to him, like the Dragon Claw shit. And I just kind of love the idea of him carrying on the will of Ace through the power that he has. He uses a lot of the same moves that Ace used, but adds, those little twists onto it. Oh, and it most definitely helps that Sabo's voice actor goes fucking hard. Holy shit, let me throw in some clips on there so you know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Ryusouken. Ryu no Ibuki!
Okay, so the moment you have all been waiting for. My most entertaining fighter is Wait, let me get some honorable mentions here real quick. So Zoro, I know that'll piss some of you off, but I just don't love swordsmanship in One Piece. It's not all that unique, and I feel like all swordsmen kind of feel the same. Law, he has an amazing deep bag, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video. And he would probably be number 6 on this list. I just couldn't make this list without putting Luffy on it. It'd just be disrespectful. Okay, rapid fire. Odin, King, Whitebeard. Kaido was really close to getting in. Kizaru, I love how he moves so sluggishly, yet he's fucking fast as fuck. Okay, finally, enough stalling. Number 1, it's Blackbeard, okay? And I don't think it's recency bias either. I just love how Blackbeard and his crew approach fights. You know, nobody else does it. And what I'm referring to is they have a plan. Blackbeard always has a plan to orchestrate. He's very rarely reckless, and he's only reckless if he knows he's in a position to win, which is pretty often. He's an absolute pussy bitch coward, but this is an anime about pirates, and he's the only pirate in the show that fights like a pirate. And don't even get me started on his devil fruits. So he has a very devil fruit heavy fighting style. In fact, that's pretty much all he does. But the combination that he has at this very moment is fucking perfect. I say at this very moment because he could throw another devil fruit in here. I bet he will. The dark fruit and the quake fruit were an absolute match made in heaven. He is probably the heaviest hitter in the show right now. If you get hit by Whitebeard, you're done. With either hand, too. Blackbeard is easily the strongest devil fruit user in the show right now, unless Saturn has something to say about it. And I don't think anyone with a devil fruit right now is able to beat Blackbeard. He's that fucking nasty. When he hits you with the Kurozu, holy shit, you're fucked. You know that you're fucked if you have a devil fruit. Plus the mystery of how he's able to even use multiple devil fruits play into it too. Oh, and he has cool names for his powers like Kurozu. You know, like I just said, it goes hard. But yeah, that's about it. Give me a little list of your favorite fighters in One Piece. Because after all, this is a fucking subjective list. But, sub to my second channel, please.